Let's travel to Chukotka, a faraway peninsula in the eastern part of Russia. It's a place of rugged beauty with a tough environment. You see, Chukotka is actually closer to Alaska in the United States than it is to Moscow. This region is known for its super long, dark winters and short, cool summers. Imagine a vast, treeless plain called the tundra. That's what covers most of Chukotka. For centuries, native people, mainly the Chukchi, have lived in this challenging environment. Their lives are deeply connected to the natural world. The Bering Sea borders Chukotka to the south, and its icy waters are full of marine life. Whales, walruses, and seals are super important for the Chukchi people. For many generations they have relied on hunting and fishing to survive. Reindeer herders also call this region home. They travel across the tundra with their reindeer, depending on them for food, clothing, and even transportation. Their way of life exists in harmony with nature. The Chukchi people are known for their resilience and strong culture. They've thrived in this challenging environment for centuries. Their traditions and customs, passed down through generations, show a deep understanding and respect for nature. The Chukchi have a rich history of stories, myths, and legends that explain their beliefs and where they came from. In Chukchi culture, community and sharing are super important. In a place where resources can be scarce, working together is key to survival. Traditional Chukchi society revolved around extended families with strong bonds and support for one another. The elders, respected for their wisdom and experience, played a vital role in making decisions and passing on traditional knowledge. Now, let's talk about a controversial aspect of Chukchi culture: the historical practice of wife lending. This tradition, often misunderstood, involved offering one's wife to a guest as a gesture of hospitality and a way to strengthen relationships. It's really important to understand the historical and cultural reasons behind this practice. In the harsh Arctic conditions, survival often depended on cooperation and alliances between groups. Wife lending wasn't about a sexual transaction, it was about strengthening ties between families or clans. It often happened during tough times like famine or long journeys, when the support of another family could mean the difference between life and death. This practice was always consensual, with both the husband and wife agreeing to it. It was often reciprocal, meaning the guest would offer his wife in return later on. Life in the Arctic is incredibly tough, and this played a big part in shaping the social customs of the Chukchi people. Imagine long dark winters with temperatures plummeting to -50 degrees Celsius. Travel and hunting became extremely difficult, and food shortages were common. Survival often hinged on the ability to share resources and help each other out. In such a challenging environment, social customs developed to bring people together and ensure the survival of the entire community. Wife lending, while controversial by today's standards, reflects these harsh realities. It was a practical way to deal with the challenges of Arctic life, strengthening social bonds and ensuring the group's survival. Other Chukchi customs, like sharing food and resources, also highlight the importance of community and support in their culture. In the 20th century, things began to change. When Soviet rule came to Chukotka, new ideas about morality and family structure were introduced. The practice of wife lending started to decline. The Soviet government wanted to modernize society and get rid of what they considered outdated customs, so they actively discouraged the practice. Today, wife lending is seen as unacceptable among most Chukchi people. It's considered a thing of the past. While the practice has mostly disappeared, it still sparks debate and discussion. Some anthropologists believe the tradition has been misrepresented and misunderstood. They stress the importance of understanding the cultural context when evaluating practices from the past. Others argue that the practice was inherently wrong and harmful to women regardless of its historical origins.